It is true that you cannot eat gold or silver. Certainly, it is important to prep financially with cash and precious metals. But more importantly, what will you require in 3 days after SHTF hits? This video is about one of those items, namely food. The rising price of gold and silver is an indication of a failing economy. This is true. More than 4,800 currencies have failed in 6,000 years, yet silver and gold have maintained. But also, the necessity for nourishment for survival has also maintained. A human can typically survive several weeks to a couple months, usually 1 or 2 months without food as long as they can stay hydrated. But it depends on multiple factors, such as body fat, hydration, health, activity level. The more body fat a person has, the longer survival by the body using that fat. Overall, health, age, biological sex also plays significant roles. In addition, the less energy you expend in SHTF, the longer you can survive. After a few days, the body uses up sugars and proteins. Eventually, the immune system weakens. It makes the possibility of getting infections more likely and more severe, which can lead to death. The body starts breaking down muscle, organs, eventually the heart, leading to cardiac arrest. Glycogen, a form of glucose, is stored in the liver and muscles for immediate fuel and will be depleted in about 24 hours. Once this form of glucose is gone, the body will refer to fat for energy and starts the process of ketosis. This is where weight loss and dizziness will begin. Protein wasting starts after approximately week 3 and beyond, which happens after the food reserves are depleted and the body must break down its own muscle tissue, including vital organs like the heart, to find fuel, which leads to organ failure and ultimately death. During these periods of starvation, obviously you will not get nutrients through precious metals. If you're lucky, you'll be able to barter for food. If you cannot, let's hope you have food stacked at home. There are several ways to stack food. I've certainly tried multiple ways myself, and if you are successful, I would suggest you keep doing what you're doing. Before waking up to our financial situation in 2021, I did stack non-perishable food for the vehicles using MREs, which are meals ready to eat, which I put into backpacks for each vehicle. Here you can see I have a red and black backpack. One is more for survival items such as compasses, knives, etc. The other one has more food and water. This will provide enough for 3 days survival for one person, and if there are more than one people in the vehicle, it will need to be rationed out. But I also have other items such as string to capture small animals for food and a filter for water. MREs can last 3 to 5 years at 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, but can last 5 to 10 years at 50 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, and can only last about 1 month at temperatures above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Interestingly, though, I have seen some videos showing MREs lasting 20 to 30 years, but that's more the exception than the rule. If you're home and you're bugging in, certainly what is in your vehicle can be used. However, I would recommend to keep it in the vehicle in case you have to bug out quickly. This means you have to have food at home. What type of food? Good question. For a few years, I started stacking emergency essentials, which you can find on beprepared.com. Their food is somewhat okay. You can get them in buckets that will last 25 years. You can also buy large cans of dehydrated food such as meat, vegetables, and fruit. The buckets tend to fit better into square places like closets. The round cans tend to be a little bit more tasty, but you can lose a bit of the room and storage. The food in the buckets are tolerable, but in my opinion could be better. I eventually moved away from emergency essentials and went to 4 Patriots. Instead of the buckets like emergency essentials, they come in tote boxes which seem to stack a little bit better. Just like emergency essentials, 4 Patriots is advertised to be able to store up to 25 years. Another option is growing your own food. 2 to 3 years ago, I tried starting my own garden and had minimal results. I would need help with someone who has a much better green thumb than I do. However, we were good at raising 3 types of animals for meat, but we slowly got out of it because of the lack of help I can offer because of my job and later my health. Initially, we had quail, which are really easy to raise if they will quit hurting each other. You have to raise enough quail to reproduce, and you also need a good incubator to assist in that process. The eggs are delicious, but you have to have a special scissors-like device to open them up. It takes about 3 quail eggs to equate to 1 chicken egg. Coturnix quail tend to be very mean to each other. We eventually got out of this for these reasons. I plan to get back into them, but I have to find ones that are bred to be more docile. And I have to find a better incubator that will be more successful hatching baby quail. However, the quail that we had was all harvested and placed in our freezer. Another excellent type of meat is rabbits. 3 female and 1 male rabbit will produce enough offspring to feed a 2-person family for an entire 12 months. There are multiple breeds out there. Some grow fast and are small. Some grow larger and can take slower. We tend to get the ones in the middle. However, because of my decreasing ability to help out at home, we started having a backlog of rabbits. They're easy to breed and grow, but if you're not there to harvest them, you can get too many. I've harvested all our stock and placed them in the freezer. Yet another example is chickens. We originally started off with 6 hens and no roosters, and they provided enough eggs for 2 people for the whole year with a little extra. Unfortunately, their egg producing abilities decreased over time. Many of them start to eat their own eggs, and when this happens, they won't stop. Subsequently, I ordered a different breed of chicken with at least 1 rooster so we can try to create our own meat and egg birds, and then harvested the chickens that we had and placed them in the freezer. Of course, you can make friends with any local farmer, which we have in the past, or go to a farmer's market and make friends that way as well. We have some pork products and lamb in our freezer. The downside to keeping your food in the freezer is if you lose electricity, you have the risk of your food going bad. We have the largest air-cooled Generac generator as a standby. It is also my hope to get solar in case the Generac, for some reason, is no longer operational. Of course, you can always go to the grocery store, the farmer's market, and other places to stockpile your food. If you have the ability to can your own food, that's excellent. We have a dehydrator here, which we plan to start using. So there you have it. Some items to help you prepare outside of precious metals for your family, no matter if we have a national or international SHTF or a natural disaster. So let me know what your thoughts are. What have you done for your families? I look forward to reading everyone's comments. Good night, everyone. Tiger Stacker out.